Okay, today I'm going to show you how I teach modes, and I know that's one of those topics that can be a bit confusing, but and some people say that you don't need to know modes. In my practical, experience of playing tunes, I find that modes are quite useful. It's a bit of a shortcut, and especially if you're writing, they give you a bit of an idea of how a particular sound, like when we say that the major scale is happy and the minor scale is sad. To me, the Mixolydian scale is funky, and I'll explain what I mean with all these things. So the old way of teaching modes is basically taking the harmonized scale, and so on, and then say that for each one of those chords, there is a corresponding mode. So if the first chord corresponds to the first, let's call it the root position of the major scale. Then the Dorian chord, the D minor chord, as the first inversion of the C major scale, and that would be the Dorian, D Dorian. Then the third inversion would be E Phrygian. Then F would be Lydian, G would be Mixolydian, A would be Aeolian. That's correct. And then I have Locrian, B Locrian. And those are the modes, and a lot of people tend to stop there, and because maybe the music that they play doesn't really involve modes that much. But I find that if you play things where there are there's modal interchange, there are chords that don't belong to the key, there are usually jazz, funk, more like fusion-y stuff, more modern pop. But I find, and you will see in a minute, that a lot of tunes that we don't think include modes, they do. And again, some people can think always tend to go back to the major key where the mode is related to, that the mode is generated from. But I find it easier to just think in modes. So the way I think is actually parallel, which is this, where every mode starts from C. And again, I will explain more in detail why I do that. This is the C Ionian. Then I have C Dorian. Then I have C Phrygian. Then I have C Lydian. Mixolydian. Aeolian. And Locrian. So the reason why I do that is because first of all, it disengages a bit from the key. When I teach modes all starting from C, it all sounds like C major. It loses a bit the idea of every mode having its own sound. In many of my videos, I explained that I basically can always try to connect a chord shape or a chord with an arpeggio and a scale, its mode. In this case, it's C Dorian, C minor 7, C Dorian the scale, then a phrase. Okay, so, and to me, that mode has a particular sound, just like we say that the major scale is happy. To me, and these are all very subjective, you can give it its own name. To me, the Dorian scale is quite loungy, it's quite, that. To me, it's quite loungy, that's how I would describe it, jazzy, loungy, okay? And I'll just give my description to each one of these modes. And also I will give a practical application, a tune that is built on that mode, basically. The first one is C major. Obviously, C Ionian is the first degree, is the same thing as the major scale. The formula, these are all natural notes, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means the distance from the root to the other notes, or the function of the notes within that scale. The notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and we can resolve the root again. And the chord tones, the arpeggio, the 7 arpeggio is C, E, G, B. The harmonized scale is the same one as, and I'll explain why I add that. At the end, I will show you why I add that. So this to me, obviously, to most people, a major scale sounds happy, and an example of a tune in the Ionian, so in a major key, would be La Bamba. That's in the key of C. Okay. Let's see C Dorian. To me, obviously, this is the second degree of B flat major. These modes always derive from a major scale. There are some people, as I said, that prefer to always derive back to the major scale. To me, thinking in modes is a shortcut. Okay, so again, the formula is 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, and back to the root. The notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, and the 7 arpeggio is C, E, G, C, E flat, G, B flat. If I want to go 2 octaves. The harmonized scale would be B flat harmonized scale starting from C. Okay, and then to me, this, as I said, is a kind of jazzy, loungy kind of scale. And an example of this would be Oye Como Va. And so on. So that to me is what Dorian sounds like. Okay, Phrygian is the third mode of A flat major. If we think of C Phrygian, the formula is 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7. So that's the function of each note. The notes are again C, D flat, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat. The arpeggio again is just a minor 7. Sometimes, I mean, if you want to be adventurous, you can replace, to make it a bit more obvious, you can replace either the root with a flat 2, okay, or the minor third with a flat 2, or add the flat 2 just to make it a bit more Phrygian, okay. A harmonized scale again, because we're in A flat, be A flat starting from the third chord. And to me, this sounds Spanishy just because obviously there are so many tunes that have that. Okay, not to confuse with those tunes that have 2 major chords one next to each other, which, I mean, that is some people call it Spanish Phrygian, which is a mode of the harmonic scale. And some people actually play a scale that contains both the major and minor third. I think that a lot of people, I think that's a gray area as far as I'm concerned. Maybe if you know more details on that, just please leave a comment. I think both scales, I've seen both scales referred to as Spanish Phrygian. But the next mode is Lydian, and it's always, that there are many tunes that have this triad with a bass on the flat 7, so to speak. So that's a commonplace in a lot of music. I think the tune that I've used is Flying in a Blue Dream by Joe Satriani, which is quite famous. It's a famous, I would say, late 80s, early 90s tune. But anyway, the C Lydian is the 4th degree of G major, derives from G major. The formula is 1, 2, 3, 4 sharp 4, 5, 6, 7. The notes are C, D, E, F sharp, G, A, B. The arpeggio is just that major 7 arpeggio. And again, if you want to be adventurous, you can replace that G with an F sharp to make it a bit more pertinent to that mode. The harmonized scale is obviously G major started for the 4th degree. To me, this mode I would describe it as dreamy, because it's quite suspended in a way. So that's the idea. It sounds, major, but I wouldn't say it's happy. It's got more of a dreamy quality to it. Let's continue with the Mixolydian. Again, it would be the 5th degree of F major if you derive it from the major scale, and that is the formula is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. The notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B flat. The arpeggio again is a classic 7 dominant. So 1, 3, 5, flat 7. The harmonized scale. That's the harmonized scale. To me, it's something that sounds funky, bluesy, because obviously that dominant is so connected to the blues, It's not major as such, so to speak. It's very much like a funkier sound. An example could be like Sex Machine by James Brown, Okay, so that's kind of the idea. So the next mode is Aeolian, and it derives from E flat major. It's the 6th degree obviously of E flat major, and the formula is 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7. The notes are C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat. The arpeggio is a minor 7 chord arpeggio. Harmonized scale is E flat. I'm going to stick with the usual, it sounds sad, okay? Or nostalgic, there's certain sounds that, that are reminiscent. And a good example is the loner or Parisian walkways, yeah, something like that. It's that classic minor sad type blues thing. So that is the idea. The Loner, Parisian Walkways by Gary Moore. And the last mode is Locrian. It's a bit more used in context, I would say. Well, I don't know any tunes in Locrian, to be honest. And if you do any, please leave a comment. So C Locrian would be D flat major, the originated scale, 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7. The notes are C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, A, B flat. The arpeggio. Music a minor chord with a flat 5, the harmonic scale. I would say it's dark, and dark mode is the darkest mode in terms of sound, and it's very much used in 2-5-1 in minor. If let's say if I C F diminished, like C F diminished, F7, B flat minor, that's usually the use for a half diminished chord. There are other usages of a half diminished chord, but for now I'll just stick with that. So the reason why I included that harmonized scale is that from this way of learning modes, you realize that modes are a system. And basically, if you're in C major, you can use modal interchange. A very common one is an interchange from the Aeolian, where instead of going to F major, I'll go to F minor. Another one would be to go to E flat major, and that would be obviously, you can use the Lydian if you wanted to, or the Ionian. E flat is Ionian. So you can exchange some chords between these between these modes. Like I say, you can borrow the second chord from the Phrygian, and obviously that would be, and exchange chords between modes. So you can literally exchange the same position, so to speak. So the fourth chord of one mode with the fourth chord of another mode, and you will come up with tunes, with interesting tunes. So this is called modal interchange, and it's quite common. So yeah, I hope this made sense. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments section. I just wanted to make these modes a bit more practical. As I said, a lot of people tend to always refer to the originating scale. They don't use modes. I find modes, because I use them a lot, a bit of a shortcut. If I know, especially if I'm using them, and I will see them maybe in a future lesson, modes from the melodic minor or harmonic minor or any other scale, really, any scale has modes. So you can see that this is a good way of thinking, I think, is an easier way of thinking.
Okay, I just wanted to remind everybody, as I've seen there have been quite a few subscribers in the last couple of months. There are some freebies that you can download from my website, some templates and tracks and stuff like that. So first one, when you sign up to my mailing list, don't worry, I've rarely sent anything out. I will not spam you. The first one is a Guitar Kit Lite. This is a smaller version of a bigger product that I will show you how to get later. Basically just a bunch of templates that are quite useful for guitarists, teachers, and just if you're learning guitar. So, chord charts, 7 chords, pentatonic shape, the 5 shapes, major scale, 3 note per strings. There are a bunch of things, something to do with modes. And obviously there's a link to the bigger product with all the templates that you can get in there. That's for sale, like all my other instructional things that I've made, and they're all digital downloads. In the shop page here, you can see there's a shop page with a bundle deals. You can get 4 books with MP3 example. This is basically all you get right there. And obviously you can read about them in the rest of the page, and you can buy them individually in the rest of the page. When I used to sell them individually, which I still do, it's roughly $150. You can get them from a donation of about 15 minimum, and you can just pick, depending on how much value you feel you'll got from my videos, from my lessons. To get the freebie, so to speak, all you have to do is to sign up for my mailing list, as I said. So how do you do that? Just click to any of these lessons. There are tons there on that page. You will see you get a lesson. There is my music to listen to on Spotify. There is, again, that donate and download link to the bundle. And here we go. At the bottom of the page, you can sign up here, subscribe. You will have to confirm your email first, and then in a second email, you will get the download link. And in this little zip file, you will get what I just showed you, the guitar kit, plus 1 track from my latest album, which is now about 5 years old, 6 years old. 1 track from my previous album, which is about 10 years old, and then 1 backing track. Obviously, my albums are free on Spotify, so you can check that out as well. All the links down in the description. So again, once you sign up, you get a confirmation email, and then you will get the link to all the templates. Thank you again for your support. Please subscribe. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and check out all the links and the pinned comment. There's always stuff there. All right, take care. Thank you again.